Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Science Channel. I'm so glad you found your way here tonight. Maybe it's been a long day, or maybe you're someone who likes to drift to sleep with quiet wonder, letting thoughts of distant worlds replace the noise of daily life. There's nothing you need to do now but rest. Let your mind grow still, your breathing slow, and your body light. Because tonight, we're not just closing our eyes. We're traveling through the story of space exploration. From the first dreamers who looked up in wonder to the silent probes wandering the edge of interstellar space, we'll explore 100 sleepy facts to help you unwind, relax, and dream among the stars. And if these calm explorations help you rest, consider liking and subscribing. It helps other sleepy travelers find their way here too. Now, close your eyes and let's begin. Fact 1. When we first looked up, long before engines and satellites, there were only open skies and quiet wonder. Humanity's first exploration of space began not with rockets, but with eyes. Watching the heavens change, night after night. Ancient people traced the stars into stories, mapping gods, hunters, and rivers of light. They noticed how certain stars rose and set with the seasons, marking time in the slow rhythm of the Earth's orbit. In those early nights, exploration was still a dream, a wish whispered toward the stars. Yet even then, something in us stirred, the gentle ache to reach beyond what we could touch. And in that yearning, the first chapter of space exploration was written, in silence and in wonder. Beyond those first dreams, the story began to rise on pillars of flame. Fact 2. The fire that reached for heaven. The first rockets were born not from science, but from ritual. Centuries ago in China, people filled hollow tubes with black powder and watched them streak across the sky, glowing tails of fire against the dark. These were fireworks, meant for celebration, yet they carried the same ancient impulse to send something higher than human hands could reach. Later, that same spark found thinkers and inventors who began to ask, what if the fire could keep burning longer? They experimented with metal, pressure, and fuel. And though many failed, each attempt lifted humanity's imagination a little higher. The dream of touching the stars was no longer myth. It was beginning to take shape in steel and smoke, and quietly, the sky was becoming less a ceiling and more a doorway. Fact 3. The first equations of flight. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, a few dreamers began to calculate the impossible. Men like Konstantin Tsiolkovsky in Russia, Robert Goddard in America, and Hermann Oberth in Germany asked questions no one else dared. What speed must a rocket reach to escape Earth? What shape would carry it there? They filled notebooks with careful lines of numbers, writing the poetry of propulsion in mathematics. Each equation was like a quiet prayer, a belief that one day humans would leave the ground entirely. When Goddard launched the first liquid-fueled rocket in 1926, it rose only a few meters. But in that trembling ascent, centuries of dreaming finally took motion. And far above that brief flight, the stars watched, patient, waiting for what would come next. Fact 4. The sound of Sputnik. In October of 1957, a tiny metal sphere rose from the steppes of Kazakhstan and began to sing to the Earth. Its voice was faint, just a series of steady beeps echoing across the void. Yet it changed everything. This was Sputnik 1, the first human-made object to orbit our planet. Its signal was simple, a heartbeat of technology, but it carried profound meaning. Humanity had reached beyond the atmosphere. For the first time, We were both the observers and the creators of what moved among the stars. People around the world listened to that ghostly signal on radios, imagining the little sphere drifting silently through the night sky. The sound was small, but its echo was endless. The space age had begun, and somewhere, far below, new dreams were already taking shape. Fact 5. A dog named Laika. Only weeks after Sputnik's song faded, another rocket rose, carrying a passenger who could not speak, a small stray dog from Moscow named Laika. She became the first living being to orbit Earth, circling above a world that had never before sent life so far. Her heart raced, her body floated weightless, and the planet turned blue beneath her. Though Laika's journey was brief and she never returned, her courage marked a turning point. Humanity had learned that life could survive the crossing from ground to sky. That space was not an unreachable void, but a realm that could be touched. In every mission that followed, Laika's quiet sacrifice was remembered. She became a symbol of both innocence and discovery. Her story carried gently through time, like a small heartbeat still circling the Earth. Fact 6. Rockets in the Cold War sky. The years that followed were tense and bright, filled with both fear and wonder. Two great nations, the United States and the Soviet Union, raced to master the heavens. Each launch was a contest, yet also a collaboration of human spirit and ingenuity. Rockets roared from deserts and forests, painting white trails across the morning sky. Each mission climbed a little higher, teaching the world about orbits, re-entry, and the fragile balance of technology and will. Behind the politics was something purer, a shared human longing to reach farther, to see what lay beyond. And though it began in rivalry, space soon became a canvas for unity. For in the dark above borders, no lines are drawn, only stars, quietly shining for all. Fact 7. The Mercury Pioneers. In the dawn of the 1960s, 7 men were chosen to carry the weight of humanity's hope. They were called the Mercury 7, and their names became the first constellation of the space age: Shepard, Grissom, Glenn, Carpenter, Schirra, Cooper, and Slayton. They trained in silence and solitude, learning to trust machines that had only recently begun to fly. Inside their small capsules, they would have no room to stand, barely enough space to move, only a window and the infinite beyond. When Alan Shepard became the first American in space, he rode a column of fire for just 15 minutes. Yet in that brief arc, he proved that humans could rise, endure, and return again. The dream had taken form, with a heartbeat, a name, and a face. Fact 8. Gagarin's Whisper. But before Shepard's flight, the world had already heard another name whispered into eternity: Yuri Gagarin. On April 12, 1961, the young Soviet pilot became the first human to orbit the Earth. His spacecraft, Vostok 1, circled the planet in 108 serene minutes. As he looked down through the small window, he saw the world as no one ever had. The blue oceans curved below him, the clouds drifting in quiet grace. "I see Earth," he said softly. "It is so beautiful." In that moment, humanity itself seemed to exhale, for the sky was no longer the limit. When Gagarin landed, fields and villagers surrounded him in awe. He smiled, brushed the soil from his boots, and said he had come from the sky. The universe had gained its first traveler, and Earth, its first hero of the stars. Fact 9. The moon in our minds. After Gagarin's flight, the question grew louder in every language. What comes next? The answer shimmered silver in the night. The moon, our constant companion. For centuries, it had inspired poetry and prayer. Now it called to engineers and dreamers. Plans unfolded like blueprints of destiny. Great rockets, new capsules, computers that filled entire rooms. Each design was a promise that one day, humans would walk where only light had touched. In those years, the moon became more than a symbol. It became a destination, glowing softly as the ultimate horizon. And somewhere in the quiet dark, the next great journey began to take shape. A journey not of nations, but of humankind itself. Fact 10. The countdown begins. Every launch starts the same way, with stillness. Engines whisper to life, computers murmur numbers, and voices count backward in rhythm with 1,000 hearts. The countdown is both ritual and reassurance, a slow gathering of courage before the storm. As seconds fall away, the rocket stands tall and trembling, a monument of patience. Inside, astronauts breathe slowly, cocooned in suits that hum with oxygen and hope. When the final moment arrives, the ground shudders and the air turns to light. It is a sound that shakes the soul. And yet, within the noise, there is peace, because every countdown ends not with fear, but with flight. And above the flames, gravity lets go, gently, inevitably, beautifully. Fact 11. Apollo's silver wings. To reach the moon, humanity built a machine that was part miracle, part mathematics. It was called the Apollo spacecraft, a union of precision and poetry. At its heart was the Saturn V, a rocket so tall it touched clouds, and so powerful it could lift a small city skyward. Each mission carried 3 souls inside a silver capsule, wrapped in layers of metal thinner than paper. Behind them roared engines burning through thousands of liters of fuel every second. Yet despite its strength, the journey was always fragile, a balance of pressure, angle, and grace. When the Apollo rocket rose, it seemed to lift more than metal. It carried the weight of every dream ever whispered toward the stars. And with every thunderous ascent, the moon drew closer, not just in distance, but in reach. Fact 12. The first footprint. On July 20th, 1969, the world held its breath. Through the grainy glow of a black and white broadcast, a human figure descended a ladder onto lunar dust, untouched for billions of years. Neil Armstrong's voice was quiet, almost hesitant. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. The words drifted across radio waves, soft as breath, reaching every corner of Earth. Beside him, Buzz Aldrin followed, and together they moved in slow, dreamlike rhythm under a sky without air. Their shadows stretched long and pale across the gray. That first footprint still rests there, undisturbed, waiting in silence. And from that gentle mark, humanity learned that the impossible could indeed be touched. Fact 13. The view from the moon. From the dusty plains of the moon, Earth rises like a delicate jewel. When the astronauts looked up from that silent world, they saw not continents or borders, but a single blue sphere, floating in the endless dark. The photograph we now call Earthrise captured that moment forever. In it, the thin veil of our atmosphere glows like a whisper, protecting the only home we know. The moon was cold and barren, but Earth shimmered with warmth and life. For those who stood on the lunar soil, the sight was humbling, a reminder that space exploration isn't about leaving home, but seeing it anew. And from that distant perspective, humanity found both wonder and tenderness for the world below. Fact 14. quiet dust, and distant shadows. The moon has no wind, no rain, no sound, only silence so complete it feels eternal. Every footprint left by the Apollo astronauts still lies there, perfectly preserved in gray dust as fine as smoke. When they walked, each step sent slow arcs of powder floating, glimmering briefly, before settling again into stillness. Their shadows stretched long under the black sky, where the sun shone unfiltered and stars stood unseen. In that place, time moves differently, not in hours, but in moments of pure awareness. The astronauts spoke softly, careful not to disturb the quiet too much. For even among the machines and mission goals, they felt the weight of reverence. The moon had waited billions of years for visitors and welcomed them with silence. Fact 15. Messages left in metal. When the Apollo missions departed, they left behind small relics, gentle echoes of humanity. A flag, a plaque engraved with words of peace, photographs of families, even a tiny sculpture called the Fallen Astronaut, honoring those who gave their lives reaching the stars. They also left equipment, mirrors that still reflect laser beams from Earth, instruments still standing in the eternal stillness. Each object is a message written not in ink, but in presence. We were here. Those humble offerings rest in dust and light, timeless in their simplicity. And somewhere beyond the horizon, the next mission was already being planned. Another reach into the dark, another step toward forever. Fact 16. The return to blue. After days in the silent wilderness of the moon, the astronauts turned for home. Their spacecraft lifted from the lunar surface in a bright, silent arc, a spark leaving the dust behind. As they drifted toward Earth, the black of space gave way to a familiar hue, a fragile shimmer of blue, growing larger with every hour. Re-entry was fire and patience combined, the capsule wrapped in flame as it sliced through the atmosphere. Then came splashdown, the ocean closing softly around them like an embrace. When the hatch opened and sunlight spilled in, the scent of salt and air filled their lungs. The long journey was complete, and Earth had never felt so alive. Fact 17. From flags to footprints, the Apollo missions left more than metal and dust behind. They left memory. For a brief span of years, humans walked on another world, planting flags not for conquest, but for curiosity. Yet as quickly as it began, it ended. Budgets shifted, and the moon once more became a silent neighbor. Still, the legacy endured. The photographs, the recordings, and the quiet footprints remain. Reminders that humanity once took giant leaps with humble hearts. Each print pressed into that gray soil speaks of courage, unity, and the gentle strength of shared purpose. Though the rocket stopped flying, the spirit of exploration never faded. It simply grew quieter, waiting for the next whisper of ignition. Fact 18. Dreams deferred. The 1970s brought a slower rhythm. The great race was over, and the world turned its gaze back to Earth. For a time, the stars seemed distant again, too costly, too far, too uncertain. Yet even in pause, the dream survived. Scientists planned new missions, engineers refined their craft, and astronauts trained in simulators lit by the soft hum of monitors. Space exploration became patient, more study than spectacle, more reflection than race. It was a necessary quiet, like a breath drawn before the next long journey. And in that stillness, humanity began to imagine something new. Living, not just visiting, among the stars. Fact 19. A station among the stars. When Apollo's dust had settled, humanity looked upward once more. Not to step on new worlds, but to stay among them. In 1973, Skylab became Earth's first true space station, a place where astronauts lived and worked for weeks at a time, circling the planet every 90 minutes. Inside its hollow shell, they studied the sun, observed storms from above, and learned how bodies adjust to a world without weight. Outside, space shimmered in silence, endless, patient, and bright. Though Skylab's life was short, its lessons were vast. It proved that we could call the stars home for a while, and when it fell back to Earth years later, it left behind a quiet promise: we would build again. Fact 20. Hands reaching across nations. As the rivalry of the Cold War softened, something beautiful began to bloom in orbit: cooperation. In 1975, the Apollo-Soyuz test project joined two nations once divided by fear. American and Soviet spacecraft met high above the Earth, their hatches opening into a shared handshake that floated between worlds. The moment was simple, almost fragile. Two crews exchanging smiles, gifts, and air. Yet it marked a profound shift: the realization that space belonged not to any one country, but to everyone. From that gentle meeting came trust, and from trust came the foundations of international partnerships that still guide exploration today. In space, humanity learned that connection was stronger than competition. Fact 21. Wings for space. By the 1980s, a new dream took flight: a reusable spacecraft that could soar like a plane and return to Earth in one piece. The space shuttle was both delicate and daring, part rocket, part glider, and all ambition. Its white wings carried satellites, telescopes, and human crews to the heavens and back, again and again. Each mission began with thunder, but ended with grace: a quiet glide through blue skies, wheels kissing the runway like a sigh. For the first time, humanity had built a ship meant not just to visit the stars, but to return to them as an old friend. And from those wings, a new era of spaceflight unfolded: steady, human, and filled with wonder. Fact 22. The Columbia's first flight. In April of 1981, the shuttle Columbia lifted from the Florida coast, wings gleaming white against the morning sky. It was a sight both familiar and new: a rocket rising, but this time with the promise of return. Astronauts John Young and Robert Crippen rode her up through flame and cloud, and when they orbited the Earth, they became the first to fly a spacecraft built to come home again. When Columbia glided back through the atmosphere and landed like a bird on dry desert runway, humanity crossed another threshold. We had made a machine that could touch the stars and then fold its wings for landing. The age of reusable flight had begun, gently, triumphantly, beautifully. Fact 23. Life in orbit. To live in space is to live between worlds, neither falling nor flying, but floating. Astronauts aboard the shuttle quickly learned the art of weightlessness. They drifted from wall to wall, sleeping in cocoon-like bags, eating meals that floated gently from their trays. Everyday life became a graceful dance. Water formed shimmering spheres, tools needed gentle tethers, and laughter echoed oddly in the filtered air. They brushed their teeth with care, wrote notes that drifted away, and gazed out the window at a world wrapped in blue light. From orbit, sunrise, and sunset arrived every 90 minutes, fleeting, breathtaking, eternal. And in those quiet cycles of light, humans began to understand what it meant to live among the stars. Fact 24. The floating symphony. In the stillness of orbit, even the human body becomes a soft experiment. Muscles relax, bones forget their weight, and blood redistributes in curious ways. Astronauts often describe the first few days as strange, a sense of fullness in the head, as though the body itself must relearn balance in zero gravity. But over time, motion becomes effortless. With a single fingertip, one can glide from room to room. The shuttle becomes a silent instrument, its hum and hiss like music beneath the calm. Science called it microgravity, but to those who floated there, it felt like dreaming while awake. And in that gentle suspension, humanity learned that even our biology could adapt to the stars. Fact 25. A view like no other. From the windows of the shuttle, Earth filled the frame like a living painting. Oceans glowed deep sapphire, deserts stretched like golden whispers, and clouds curled into luminous spirals of white. The thin line of the atmosphere shimmered turquoise, delicate as glass, protective as breath. Astronauts often said it changed them. Looking down at our world, they saw no borders, no boundaries, only the shared pulse of a single planet turning quietly in light. Some called it the overview effect, a sudden flood of peace and awe. It reminded them, and all of us, that space exploration isn't only about reaching outward. It's about learning to love what waits below. Fact 26. The Challenger's memory. In January 1986, the shuttle Challenger rose into the morning sky, and then, in an instant, was gone. The loss carried across the world like a held breath breaking. 7 explorers had set out to touch the heavens and were claimed instead by the fragility of flight. But their story did not end there. Out of grief came renewal, new designs, safer systems, deeper care. The courage of those who flew became a quiet promise whispered into every future launch. That discovery is never without risk, and that bravery often shines brightest in tragedy's shadow. Each time a new rocket rises, it carries not just engines and dreams, but remembrance. And above the clouds, those 7 names drift eternal, written in light. Fact 27. Science in the sky. As shuttle flights resumed, their missions took on a new rhythm, one of study, patience, and collaboration. Astronauts became scientists, engineers, and artists in orbit. They grew crystals that could never form on Earth, studied fire without gravity's pull, and tested medicines shaped by the silence of space. Each experiment was a seed of knowledge, floating hundreds of miles above home. They looked at how hearts beat in zero gravity, how metal fused, how plants stretched toward artificial suns. The shuttle became a laboratory among the stars, its hum a lullaby for human curiosity, and through its windows, a new understanding began to bloom of both the universe and ourselves. Fact 28. A telescope among the stars. In 1990, the Hubble Space Telescope rode into orbit aboard the shuttle Discovery, unfolding its golden mirrors like the petals of a cosmic flower. For the first time, humanity placed its gaze beyond the haze of Earth's atmosphere, allowing the universe to reveal itself in breathtaking clarity. Hubble became our quiet witness to creation, capturing galaxies twisting in elegant spirals, nebulae blooming in color, and ancient light traveling across eons. It did not speak, but it showed us everything. Each image was a whisper from the cosmos, a gentle reminder of how small and wondrous we are. Through Hubble's lens, humanity learned that the night sky is not emptiness, but an infinite garden of stars. Fact 29. Fixing the eye of heaven. Not long after launch, a flaw was found. Hubble's mirror was imperfect, its vision blurred. But humanity did not turn away. Instead, astronauts prepared a mission of delicate repair. In December 1993, Endeavour carried a crew into orbit to give the telescope new sight. They floated for hours in the stillness of space, their hands steady despite the infinite dark beneath them. Each bolt turned, each panel fitted, each breath measured, until at last, Hubble opened its eyes again. When the first corrected images returned, the world fell silent. Clouds of gas, clusters of stars, and galaxies like jewels. The universe unveiled itself in color and depth unseen before. From that moment, the stars felt closer, and we learned that even in error, beauty waits to be revealed. Fact 30. The last flight home. 3 decades after its first ascent, the shuttle prepared for its final journey. In July 2011, Atlantis rose into a golden dawn, carrying 4 astronauts and the echoes of every mission before. When it landed, wheels kissing the runway in soft morning light, an era ended quietly. No trumpets, only gratitude. The shuttle had carried telescopes, built space stations, and launched dreams. It had suffered loss, celebrated triumph, and redefined what flight could mean. As its engines cooled, the silence of the hangar felt sacred, a pause between chapters. And somewhere beyond the clouds, its legacy continued to drift, woven forever into the story of human wonder. Fact 31. Voyagers of Forever. In 1977, 2 small spacecraft were launched into the dark, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. They were built of metal and memory, carrying cameras, instruments, and a sense of purpose far greater than their size. Their mission? To visit the outer planets, and then to keep going. They flew past Jupiter's swirling storms, Saturn's shimmering rings, Uranus's pale horizon, and Neptune's distant winds. Each encounter was a revelation, a postcard from the edge of sunlight. Decades later, their signals still whisper home, crossing billions of kilometers of silence. They are the farthest human-made objects in existence, small, patient travelers, drifting forever through the sea between stars. And somewhere beyond their reach, eternity begins. Fact 32. Golden records, golden dreams. Tucked within each Voyager is a gift. The golden record, a time capsule meant for whoever might one day find it. It carries the sounds of Earth, laughter, a heartbeat, the rustle of wind through trees. There are greetings in 55 languages and music, from Bach to Blind Willie Johnson, from thunder to birdsong. Etched upon its cover are directions, written in the language of physics, showing where our little planet can be found. It is both message and mirror, saying, "We were here. We hoped. We cared." These records spin silently through the dark, unplayed yet alive, forever circling the memory of their makers. If they are ever found, they will tell the story of a small world that looked up and dared to send its soul to the stars. Fact 33. Pioneers in the dark. Before Voyager came the Pioneer probes, fragile craft that blazed the trail into deep space. Launched in the early 1970s, Pioneer 10 and 11 became the first to pass through the asteroid belt and fly by Jupiter and Saturn. They carried simple plaques engraved with figures of a man and woman and a map of our sun's position. An introduction written in quiet confidence. Their messages were humble, their technology limited, but their reach eternal. Now, their power long faded, they drift silently between the stars, ghostly pathfinders leading the way for all who followed. And though their voices are gone, their journey continues, steady, infinite, and kind. Fact 34. Viking's Red Horizon. In 1976, after years of planning and precision, 2 spacecraft finally arrived at Mars. They were called Viking 1 and Viking 2, twin emissaries from Earth. Each carried a lander wrapped in golden foil, descending carefully through the thin Martian air. When Viking 1 touched down, its cameras opened like eyes. Before it stretched a silent desert, stones, sand, and sky, all tinted in soft shades of rust and rose. It was the first time humanity had seen the surface of another planet with such clarity. Though its instruments found no clear signs of life, it revealed something equally profound: that Mars was a world shaped by water, wind, and time. A planet that once breathed, now dreaming in dust. Fact 35. A world of dust and storms. Mars is a restless planet. Its winds can rise without warning, lifting fine dust into storms that cover continents. Sometimes these tempests grow until they wrap the entire world, a swirling shroud that dims the sun for months. The air there is thin, only a whisper compared to Earth's, but strong enough to sculpt dunes and erase old tracks. Temperatures swing from biting cold to brittle warmth, and the horizon always glows faintly pink. Through the eyes of our orbiters, we've watched these storms move like slow tides, reshaping valleys and plains. Yet when the winds die down, the silence returns, complete and eternal, the kind that only a planet can know. And in that hush, our machines wait patiently for the next dawn. Fact 36. The Spirit and the Opportunity. In 2004, two small rovers bounced to rest on the Martian surface, Spirit and Opportunity. They were designed to last 90 days, yet they stayed for years, crossing craters and plains with quiet determination. Spirit explored the hills of Gusev Crater, finding traces of minerals shaped by ancient water. Opportunity wandered farther still, traveling over 28 miles across the red expanse, far beyond any expectation. Their wheels left patterns like poetry across the sand, curved lines of exploration and endurance. When they finally fell silent, they did so beneath the same dusty sky they had once explored so faithfully. And even now, the wind moves gently over their resting places, whispering thanks. Fact 37. Curiosity's laser eyes. In 2012, a new traveler descended through the Martian sky, held by parachutes and guided by jets of fire. Her name was Curiosity, and she landed softly inside Gale Crater, a basin carved by ancient water. She carried laboratories, drills, and a laser that could study rocks with a pulse of light. As she roamed the red hills, Curiosity found smooth pebbles once tumbled in flowing rivers, and fine layers of clay that whispered of a wetter past. She became both scientist and poet, sending back panoramas of sunrise through dusty air. Each photo glowed like a memory from another time, another Earth. And in her steady wheels, we found a reflection of our own persistence, quiet, steady, unending. Fact 38. Perseverance and the Little Drone. 9 years later, a new rover arrived, Perseverance. She touched down in the Jezero Crater, an ancient river delta where life may once have bloomed. Her landing was guided by radar, cameras, and a voice from Earth saying, "Touchdown confirmed." Cheers erupted, then silence as Mars received another guardian. But Perseverance did not come alone. Strapped to her belly was a small companion named Ingenuity, a tiny helicopter built for thin air. One morning, under a pale pink dawn, Ingenuity rose a few meters above the ground, the first powered flight on another planet. Her shadow danced across the dust like a dragonfly's wing. In that moment, Mars had not just been visited, it had been touched by flight. Fact 39. Cassini's Long Goodbye. Far beyond Mars, another explorer was preparing her farewell. The Cassini spacecraft had spent 13 years circling Saturn, studying its rings, moons, and magnetic fields. She watched storms swirl around the poles, glimpsed geysers on Enceladus, and sent home portraits of worlds bathed in gold. When her fuel ran low, scientists commanded her to dive into Saturn's clouds, a final act of grace to protect the moons she'd loved. As she descended, her instruments stayed awake until the last signal flickered and faded. In that quiet end was beauty, a spacecraft becoming part of the planet she had studied so faithfully. And above her, Saturn turned on, luminous and serene. Fact 40. The far sunsets of Pluto. In 2015, after 9.5 years of silent travel, New Horizons reached the edge of our solar system. It had crossed 4 billion miles to glimpse Pluto, once the 9th planet, now a world of ice and shadows. As it passed, cameras caught mountains of frozen nitrogen and plains that glowed faintly gold beneath a distant sun. Its atmosphere formed a soft blue halo, delicate as breath, fragile as memory. The data took months to reach home, trickling back through the darkness like postcards from a forgotten shore. When we finally saw Pluto's heart-shaped plain, it felt like a greeting, a frozen, gentle wave from a world that had waited a lifetime to be seen. Fact 41. The ISS rises. Hundreds of miles above Earth, a new kind of ship began to grow piece by piece. The International Space Station, or ISS, was not launched in one moment, but assembled in orbit. A collaboration of many nations, each adding their part like builders of a celestial cathedral. Since 1998, astronauts have lived aboard its shining corridors, orbiting the planet every 90 minutes. Outside its windows, the Earth rolls endlessly, sunrises blooming, auroras dancing, cities sparkling like constellations below. Inside, there is the steady hum of life, the murmur of fans, the floating rhythm of footsteps, the laughter that drifts softly in zero gravity. The ISS became humanity's first true home beyond Earth, a bright lantern of cooperation, circling in eternal twilight. Fact 42. A quiet orbit. To live aboard the ISS is to exist in motion, forever falling, yet never landing. Astronauts float through narrow modules, their bodies learning new ways to move, eat, and sleep. They tether tools with Velcro, sip water from silver pouches, and gaze down at thunderstorms that flash silently across continents. Each 90 minutes brings a new sunrise, 16 per day, painting their faces in gold and shadow. The rhythm becomes meditative, a cycle of light and rest that blurs the meaning of time. Above them, stars burn without flicker. Below, the planet hums in cloud and color. And between those worlds, humanity quietly learns to belong in both. Fact 43. The long sleep of circadian rhythms. On Earth, our bodies follow the slow turning of day and night, but in orbit, the sun rises and sets 16 times every 24 hours, each dawn lasting only moments. To the astronauts aboard the ISS, time feels different, endless, shimmering, strange. They darken their sleeping quarters to mimic night, securing themselves in soft cocoons that keep them from drifting as they rest. Dreams come lighter in zero gravity, like thoughts adrift on water. Some dream of oceans, others of quiet fields. Without gravity's pull, the heart beats a little slower, the breath a little deeper. And as they float between stars and sunrise, even sleep feels like part of the voyage. Fact 44. Water that never leaves. On the station, every drop of water is precious. There are no rivers, no rain, no replenishing clouds, only a perfect loop, recycling endlessly. Sweat, breath, and condensation are captured, cleaned, and reborn as drinking water. It is science at its gentlest, the cycle of life distilled into silver pipes and patient filters. Astronauts joke that the water they drink today might have been steam from yesterday's tea. In this careful circle, nothing is wasted. It is a quiet model of what Earth itself teaches, that everything we have is borrowed, and every drop is part of a larger, living rhythm, a lesson in gratitude, written in vapor and light. Fact 45. Earth's thin veil. From the windows of the ISS, Earth appears wrapped in a fragile shimmer, a paper-thin film of blue that clings to the curve of the planet. That is our atmosphere. All the air we breathe, all the weather we know, glowing softly against the black. Astronauts often say it looks impossibly delicate, a reminder of how easily beauty can fade. They watch storms bloom like flowers, watch auroras ripple in green and violet arcs. From up there, the world seems both infinite and small, vast in color, yet held together by a veil no thicker than a sigh. And in that perspective, awe and tenderness become one. Fact 46. Experiments in weightlessness. Inside the ISS, experiments bloom like thought made visible. Without gravity, flames burn as blue spheres instead of rising flames. Plants curl in every direction, and crystals grow into perfect forms that Earth's pull would distort. Each test teaches how life behaves when freed from weight, how the heart pumps, how bones change, how sound moves through thin air. Astronauts float with patient precision, securing samples that drift like bubbles in slow water. To them, science feels more like meditation, a rhythm of observation and quiet wonder. Every result, every note, becomes a small gift to Earth below, where the same gravity that once grounded us now inspires our flight. Fact 47. A planet beneath the window. At any hour, an astronaut can pause at a window and see the entire world turning. They watch thunderheads bloom, deserts shimmer, and city lights flicker in soft constellations of gold. They can trace the curve of a continent, follow the shadow of night sweeping gently across oceans. From that view, Earth seems alive, breathing through clouds, glowing at its edges, serene and impossibly beautiful. Many say it's the view that changes everything. The instant they realize the planet is not beneath them, but with them, moving together through space. Every sunrise from orbit is a reminder that home is a miracle, and we are its caretakers. Fact 48. The art of floating. To move in orbit is to dance. There are no steps, only glides, a fingertip on a wall, a breath that sends you drifting down a long corridor. Astronauts learn balance in a new way, shaping motion with grace instead of force. In weightlessness, there are no falls, only gentle corrections. Coffee drifts instead of spilling. Laughter echoes while bodies spin like slow comets. It's clumsy at first, then beautiful, a ballet of adaptation. When they return to Earth, some miss that floating ease, that effortless quiet. But even on solid ground, they carry the memory of moving among the stars, as light as thought, as calm as dreams. Fact 49. Good night, Earth. Every evening aboard the ISS, though evening happens 16 times a day, astronauts gather their thoughts and prepare for sleep. They float into small sleeping compartments, zip themselves into soft cocoons, and turn down tiny lights that cast a warm glow through the cabin. Outside their windows, the world spins by in streaks of gold and indigo. Some whisper goodnight to Earth, watching city lights blur into dawn. Others close their eyes to the hum of machines that keep them alive. In that quiet, between worlds, dreams come easily. Dreams of oceans, forests, and familiar gravity. Far below, the planet sleeps in its own rhythm, never knowing how tenderly it's watched from above. And with each orbit, Earth and sky drift into harmony once more. Fact 50. A bridge between worlds. The International Space Station became more than metal and wires. It became a bridge. Built by many nations once divided by politics and distance, it stands as proof that shared wonder can unite even the widest horizons. Russian and American hands built its foundations. Japanese, Canadian, and European modules expanded its reach. Together, they shared air, meals, laughter, even traditions from home. Birthdays celebrated with floating cake crumbs, holidays marked by music, drifting in zero gravity. The ISS showed humanity that exploration was not a race, but a chorus. Voices in different languages, humming the same tune of curiosity. And when crews returned to Earth, they carried that harmony home, like an echo of peace from orbit. Fact 51. Private skies. When the shuttle era ended, many feared the silence that followed. But from that stillness, private spaceflight began to rise. Companies dreaming of rockets that could fly, land, and fly again. No longer the work of nations alone, exploration opened to new hands and new hopes. Startups turned into launch providers. Engineers became storytellers, and each ignition felt like the rekindling of a shared fire. These new rockets lifted satellites, supplies, and eventually people, carrying the torch that government programs once held alone. The sky became not smaller, but wider, a place where imagination could find its own engines. And so began the age of reusable dreams, where the stars once again felt within reach. Fact 52. Falcon's Flame. In the early 21st century, a rocket named Falcon 9 changed how the world looked at spaceflight. It rose like any rocket before it. Thunder, light, and sky. But its true wonder began on the way down. Minutes after launch, its engines reignited, guiding it gently back through clouds to land upright on a floating drone ship at sea. The first time it succeeded, silence followed. A collective gasp, then applause that rippled around the world. A rocket, once destined to be lost, had come home again. Falcon's flame burned not only fuel, but expectation, proving that space could be sustainable, graceful, and within reach. And as it stood on the deck, steaming in the twilight, humanity saw a new horizon open. Fact 53. Reusable dreams. For decades, every rocket launch had been an act of sacrifice. Millions of dollars, burned and lost in minutes. But now, with landing boosters and rebuildable engines, the cycle had changed. Each mission became a conversation with gravity rather than a battle against it. Reusability turned spaceflight from rare spectacle into rhythm. Launch, land, repeat. Like waves returning to shore, rockets began to feel alive, each flight a continuation of the last. The engineers called it efficiency, but for many, it felt like poetry, a balance between fire and flight, destruction and renewal. Every landing carried the same quiet message, that progress can be kind, and exploration need not always mean loss. Fact 54. Crew Dragon awakens. In 2020, nearly a decade after the shuttle's farewell, astronauts once again launched from American soil. Their ship was Crew Dragon, sleek and white, its windows wide and calm. Inside, screens glowed softly, replacing switches with simplicity. A capsule designed for both beauty and safety. When it docked with the International Space Station, two travelers, Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken, smiled beneath their visors. Earth turned below. The station welcomed them home, and humanity took its first steps into a new era of partnership between private vision and public purpose. Crew Dragon proved that exploration could evolve, that progress was not an ending, but a continuation of trust between generations of dreamers. And outside, space waited, endless, patient, inviting as ever. Fact 55. The touch of Atlantis. After years of silence, the launch pads once used by the shuttles found new life. In 2022, rockets once more roared from Florida's coast, echoing across the Atlantic like memory reborn. Somewhere in the sound, the spirit of Atlantis, the final shuttle, seemed to hum, a reminder that every ending carries the seed of beginning. Astronauts returned to orbit in modern capsules, guided by digital calm instead of rows of switches. They looked out through wide oval windows and saw the same Earth, blue, glowing, alive. Each liftoff was both nostalgia and renewal, a bridge between generations of explorers. And in the golden flame below, humanity saw its reflection, reaching, returning, ready once more. Fact 56. The power of partnership. The new age of exploration is not carried by one flag alone. Around the world, agencies and private companies work side by side. NASA and SpaceX, ESA and JAXA, Roscosmos, and countless others. Each brings a piece of the puzzle: technology, trust, and shared curiosity. Together, they plan journeys to the moon, to Mars, and beyond. Each mission becomes a tapestry woven of many hands, stitched together by the quiet belief that discovery belongs to everyone. Even the smallest satellite launched now is part of something greater, a chorus of human ingenuity singing across the void. In this collaboration, space itself becomes what it has always been, a place of connection, not competition. Fact 57. The moon beckons, again. Half a century after the last footprints faded into lunar dust, the Artemis program began to take shape. Named for Apollo's twin sister, it honors the past while looking toward a future shared by all, men, women, and nations alike. Artemis Thamar flew first, uncrewed, looping around the moon in quiet preparation. Next will come Artemis II, carrying astronauts farther than any human has traveled in decades. Beyond that waits Artemis III, where new boots will once again press into the powdery soil. The moon waits patiently, the same pale face, the same gentle glow, ready to welcome us home once more. Fact 58. Orion's Path. The Orion spacecraft is humanity's new chariot to the stars, built to carry astronauts farther than any vessel since Apollo. Shaped like a capsule, yet powered by modern grace, it can guide its crew through deep space, beyond the pull of Earth's comforting gravity. In 2022, Orion completed its first great trial, looping around the moon on the Artemis I mission. From its windows, cameras caught the Earth rising small and blue above the gray horizon, the same view once seen by Apollo, now reborn in digital clarity. Orion is more than a spacecraft. It's a bridge between generations, built from memory, strengthened by innovation. And when it next flies, it will carry voices once again into lunar light. Fact 59. Gateway in the sky. In the years ahead, humanity will build a new outpost, not around Earth, but around the moon. It will be called the Lunar Gateway, a small, shining station that circles in a haloed orbit, half in sunlight, half in shadow. There, astronauts will rest between journeys, prepare landers, and look back at both Earth and Moon as twin lanterns in the dark. The Gateway will not only be a waypoint, it will be a symbol of endurance, proof that we can live and work beyond our home world for longer than ever before. Pieces of it will be launched separately, assembled slowly in orbit like a delicate sculpture. And when complete, it will gleam, a silent outpost watching over the silver plains below. Fact 60. Preparing for Mars. Even as the moon calls us home, another dream burns quietly beyond it, the dream of Mars. For decades, scientists and engineers have studied how to carry humans there. The fuel, the food, the patience. Mock habitats rise in deserts on Earth, where astronauts practice isolation and endurance. Machines are tested to grow plants in alien soil, and spacesuits are woven to breathe within thin red air. Mars is far, a 6-month voyage through radiant silence. But each lunar mission brings us closer. One small step on the moon will become the first measured stride toward another world. Fact 61. Dreams of a second home. For centuries, Mars has shimmered in our stories, a wandering red light, mysterious and near. When telescopes first revealed its polar caps and faint surface lines, imagination soared. Some saw canals, others cities. Most simply saw possibility. Even today, Mars feels familiar. Earth's smaller, colder cousin, circling the same sun with quiet dignity. Its skies glow pink at dusk. Its mountains tower higher than any on Earth, and its frozen poles hold water locked in ancient sleep. We dream of living there not out of conquest, but of curiosity, to touch another shore of creation. Every rover's tread, every photograph is a whisper of welcome. Mars waits patiently, and we are learning how to answer. Fact 62. The long journey. There. The path to Mars is not a sprint, but a long, drifting voyage. Between Earth and the red planet lies an ocean of silence, months of steady travel, guided by math, momentum, and faith. For the crew who will one day make the trip, each sunrise will rise the same, faint, distant, and pure. They will watch the sun shrink to half its size, feel time stretch into the gentle pulse of infinity. Messages from home will take minutes to arrive, voices carried on radio waves that cross millions of miles. In that delay, there will be quiet, time to think, to dream, to listen to the hum of engines and the rhythm of one's own breath. A journey outward, yes, but also inward, into the calm depths of human endurance. Fact 63. Landing on another sky. To land on Mars is to attempt poetry written in physics. Its atmosphere is too thin to slow descent easily, yet thick enough to burn a ship that falls too fast. So engineers choreograph the moment like a ballet of heat and timing. Parachutes bloom, rockets flare, and dust rises like amber smoke. When wheels or legs finally meet the ground, the world holds its breath. For in that instant, humans, or their machines, have once again reached where no life from Earth has walked before. As the dust settles, silence returns, vast and timeless. Above, a small sun glows pale gold through pink air. A promise, a beginning, a dream landing softly. Fact 64. The dust settles softly. Mars wears a cloak of dust that never truly rests. It moves with the faintest breeze, painting dunes that shift with ghost-like patience. Every rover that travels across its surface leaves tracks that fade slowly into the pale red haze. The dust is fine as smoke, born of eons of erosion and silence. It carries iron, giving the planet its soft, ruddy glow, a perpetual sunset across the land. When sunlight cuts through the haze, the air gleams pink and gold, and shadows fall longer than they should. Even in stillness, Mars feels alive, not through movement, but through endurance, a world sculpted by time, breathing gently through its dust. Fact 65. Frozen water, hidden hope. Beneath the dry plains and polar caps of Mars, ice lies waiting, bright, ancient, and full of promise. Orbiters have seen it glint beneath fresh craters, and probes have brushed its surface with cautious tools. This frozen water is the quiet key to the planet's future, the source of air to breathe, of fuel to travel, of life to sustain. When sunlight warms the poles, wisps of vapor rise like whispers of a long-lost sea. Scientists imagine aquifers sleeping below, holding the story of what once flowed freely on the surface. Where there is water, there may have been life, even if only microscopic, fragile, and brief. Each discovery brings hope that Mars is not a world long dead, but one still dreaming of renewal. Fact 66. The echoes of a lost ocean. Long ago, Mars may have shimmered with water, lakes, deltas, perhaps even a vast northern ocean stretching beneath soft skies. Ridges trace what could have been shorelines. Mineral veins glint where rivers once carved their way through rock. If you could stand there then, you might have heard waves lapping gently against rust-colored sand. Now, only silence remains, but the patterns endure, carved into valleys, frozen into memory. Each photograph from orbit is like a page from that vanished era, still faintly illuminated by sunlight. And though the waters are gone, their rhythm lingers, a lullaby from a time when Mars, too, once dreamed in blue. Fact 67. Listening to the wind. For the first time, humanity has heard the breath of another planet. Through delicate microphones aboard the rovers, Insight and Perseverance, we've captured the sound of Martian wind, a faint, low murmur moving across empty plains. It is a soft hum, like distant ocean waves, sometimes joined by the tapping of sand against metal. To listen is to feel awe and quiet intimacy, to know that across millions of miles, another world has a voice. It's a language made of air and patience, carrying across crimson deserts where no tree bends and no sea replies. Even in that loneliness, there is music. And as those whispers reach our ears, the distance between planets feels just a little smaller. Fact 68. The Martian moons. Two small moons drift above Mars, Phobos and Deimos, children of dust and captured stone. They are misshapen and ancient, circling their parent world like silent guardians. Phobos, the larger, skims so close that its orbit grows slower each year. One day, it will break apart, becoming a ring of debris shining faintly against the red sky. Deimos moves farther out, its path gentle and detached, the quieter of the two siblings. From the surface of Mars, they appear as tiny, fast-moving stars that rise and set within hours. Astronauts may one day stand beneath them and watch their delicate dance. Two companions keeping time over a sleeping world. Their orbits tell a story older than memory, one of capture, survival, and celestial grace. Fact 69. Building habitats in silence. Someday, humans will build homes beneath the Martian dawn. Not tall towers, but soft shelters, rounded and strong, made from the planet's own soil. Engineers imagine domes of compressed regolith, greenhouses glowing faintly through dust storms, and warm air humming gently within. Outside, winds will sigh against curved walls. Inside, plants will unfurl leaves under pale artificial suns. Water will circle through silver pipes. Air will flow in measured breaths. Every sound deliberate, every movement calm. Life on Mars will begin not with thunder, but with whispering care. A quiet settlement among crimson hills, where humanity learns to live gently in the stillness of another world. Fact 70. A new dawn on another world. Morning on Mars begins in pale light. The sun rises small and distant, not a golden blaze, but a delicate disk shining through a haze of dust. Its rays turn the horizon amber, brushing the rocks and dunes in muted warmth. For any future settlers, this will be the first sight of each new day, a quiet reminder that life endures, even here. The cold ground will glow softly, solar panels will wake to gather light, and domes will hum gently with renewed power. There are no birds to announce the morning, only the steady breath of the wind. Yet in that silence, the promise of a new beginning fills the air, calm, fragile, eternal. Fact 71. The edge of the heliosphere. Far beyond Mars and Jupiter, the sun's light grows thin. Its warmth stretches outward in a vast bubble called the heliosphere, the invisible frontier that marks where our solar wind meets the quiet pressure of interstellar space. Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 have both crossed that boundary, drifting now through a realm untouched by any planet's pull. Their instruments still feel the faint pulses of cosmic rays and the low hum of distant plasma. To cross this edge is to leave the cradle of our solar system entirely, to enter the dark ocean between the stars. There, sunlight becomes memory, and the next nearest star is just another faraway glimmer. And still, our tiny travelers keep going, steady and serene. Fact 72. Messages still traveling. Even now, the Voyager's signals journey homeward, faint whispers of data crossing the void at the speed of light. It takes more than 20 hours for a single transmission to reach Earth, a fragile thread connecting us to machines more distant than any other creation of humankind. Each signal carries a heartbeat of discovery, magnetic fields, cosmic dust, the quiet measure of eternity. Scientists listen through vast radio dishes, catching each pulse like a message in a bottle adrift on an infinite sea. Though their power fades, their voices remain, proof that curiosity can outlast distance, time, and silence itself. They travel still, like gentle thoughts that never stop dreaming. Fact 73. Gravity's slingshot. In the stillness of space, speed is precious. To reach the distant planets, our spacecraft have learned to borrow motion from the worlds they pass. A quiet dance known as the gravity assist. As a probe swings by a planet, it falls toward it and then flings outward, stealing a little of that planet's orbital energy to travel farther and faster. It's an elegant exchange, a cosmic waltz measured in angles and timing. Voyager, Cassini, and New Horizons all rode these invisible currents, turning gravity from obstacle to ally. Through such artistry, we've learned that even the pull of planets can help us fly. Space is not resistance, it is rhythm, and we are learning the steps. Fact 74. The Oort clouds sleep. Far beyond the outer planets lies a vast, unseen sphere of ice and shadow. The Oort cloud, the boundary between our solar system and the galaxy beyond. Its countless frozen bodies drift slowly, each a relic from the birth of the sun. Some of these icy wanderers are disturbed by passing stars or gentle gravitational tides, falling inward to become the comets we see streaking through our skies. The rest remain there, in silent darkness, circling unseen for millions of years. No spacecraft has yet reached this frozen frontier, but one day, perhaps far in the future, a probe may drift into that quiet realm and send back a single image, darkness filled with waiting light. Until then, the Oort cloud sleeps, holding the oldest memories of our cosmic beginning. Fact 75. The search for other suns. For most of history, the stars were distant fires, unreachable and eternal. But in recent decades, we have found that many of them host planets of their own, worlds orbiting quietly in light we cannot see. The Kepler Space Telescope, was our great watcher, staring at thousands of stars for years, tracing their tiny dimming as unseen planets passed before them. It revealed that worlds are everywhere, rocky, icy, burning, and strange. Each discovery reminds us that the night sky is not empty, but full of homes unseen. And somewhere among them, perhaps, another civilization is looking back, wondering if they too are alone. Fact 76. TESS and the Countless Worlds. When the Kepler telescope ended its long vigil, another eye opened to the night. The Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite, or TESS, began to map the skies anew, sweeping over bright nearby stars in wide, gentle arcs. Its task was simple and infinite: to find worlds that dim their suns for only a heartbeat as they pass in front. Already, it has found hundreds, perhaps thousands, some rocky and small, others wrapped in gas and cloud. Every tiny shadow it measures hints at another sunrise, another sky. TESS reminds us that the universe is not distant. It is teeming, alive with orbits and light. Each discovery is a lullaby from another solar system, softly saying, "You are not alone." Fact 77. The silence between stars. Between every sun lies a space so vast that light itself takes years to cross it. This is the interstellar medium, a thin mist of atoms, magnetic fields, and starlight scattered across eternity. There is no sound here, no up or down, only the endless drift of particles moving in patient rhythm. To travel through this expanse would be to move through near nothingness, guided only by mathematics and faith. Yet even emptiness has a texture. Even silence hums faintly with radiation from the birth of time. For the voyagers, this is home now, a place where distance no longer measures meaning, only endurance. And their journey continues, unhurried and eternal. Fact 78. Voyager's Fading Song. The Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 probes still speak, their voices weaker each year but never gone. Their messages, carried on ancient transmitters, travel billions of kilometers before brushing the ears of Earth's great radio dishes. Each signal is a sigh of data, temperature, field, and time. Faint, but unmistakably human. Someday, their power will fade completely, and the signals will cease. When that happens, they will keep gliding, carrying the golden records like hearts that never stop beating. Long after we are dust, they will still wander among the stars, silent but luminous with purpose. A promise cast into forever, that once, somewhere, life looked outward and dreamed. Fact 79. The River of Starlight. The Milky Way stretches across the night like a soft, silvery river, billions of suns woven into one vast glowing stream. From afar, it would appear as a spiral galaxy, its arms curling gracefully like smoke around a golden core. But from here, within it, we see only the cross-section, a haze of light and memory spilling from horizon to horizon. Every star you've ever seen belongs to this single family, bound together by gravity's quiet embrace. Between them drifts dust, nebulae, and the birthplace of future suns. Astronauts in orbit often say that even from space, the Milky Way looks alive, slowly turning, endlessly breathing. It is our true continent among the stars, and we are its children of light. Fact 80. The dark that holds the light. For all its brilliance, most of the Milky Way cannot be seen. Hidden among its stars is dark matter, the invisible framework that shapes galaxies. It does not glow, nor reflect, nor touch, yet its gravity holds everything together. The stars, the planets, even time's slow motion. Scientists sense its presence through the way galaxies spin too fast to be held by visible matter alone. They call it dark, not for its danger, but for its mystery. It may be made of particles unknown, or of something far deeper, an unseen architecture of the universe itself. In this darkness lies structure, not emptiness, a cosmic scaffolding where light takes form. Even in what we cannot see, there is quiet order. Fact 81. The heart of the galaxy. At the Milky Way's core lies a massive secret. Sagittarius A, a supermassive black hole 4 million times the mass of our Sun. It hides behind veils of dust, invisible to our eyes but radiant in radio waves. Stars whirl around it in silent obedience, their paths marking the pull of a gravity so immense that not even light can escape. And yet, the galaxy depends on it. From that darkness comes balance, rhythm, and creation. Gravity gathering the stars in its patient hands. It is not a monster, but a heartbeat. Slow, powerful, eternal. Fact 82. The cradle of stars. Deep within vast clouds of gas and dust, new stars are quietly forming. These are the stellar nurseries, immense nebulae stretching across light years, glowing faintly in pink and blue. Inside them, gravity gathers dust into clumps, pressing them tighter until, at last, fusion ignites. The Orion Nebula, visible even from Earth's night sky, is one such cradle. Within it, thousands of young stars shimmer like embers behind a curtain of haze. Around many of them, disks of rock and ice begin to swirl, the seeds of new worlds yet to come. To watch a nebula is to witness a kind of slow breathing, the inhale of creation, the exhale of light, a quiet eternity where stars are born from silence. Fact 83. The life of a star. Every star, no matter how bright, follows a graceful cycle of life. They begin as faint glows, swell into full brilliance, and live for millions or billions of years, burning their fuel with steady devotion. Small stars burn gently, lasting eons. Massive ones blaze fiercely, living fast and bright before fading. Our own sun is one of the quiet ones, a middle-aged star, patient and balanced. It will shine for another 5 billion years, nurturing life, steady as a heartbeat. Stars are not eternal, yet their endings are not losses. For in their light and ashes, new stars, new planets, and perhaps new life are born. In every sunrise, we see the same story, the rhythm of energy turning endlessly into beauty. Fact 84. The death and rebirth of light. When great stars die, they do so in luminous silence, their cores collapsing inwards, their outer layers cast into space as supernovae. For a brief time, a single star can outshine an entire galaxy, scattering heavy elements, gold, iron, carbon, into the void. From that dust, future worlds will form. Everything we are, our bones, our blood, the air we breathe, was once part of a star's last breath. So when we gaze at the night sky, we are not looking outward, but homeward, toward the light that became us and the silence that remembers. Fact 85. The song of pulsars. When a massive star collapses but does not disappear entirely, it becomes a neutron star, a core so dense that a teaspoon of it would weigh billions of tons. Some spin rapidly, beaming radio waves from their poles like cosmic lighthouses. These are pulsars, and their steady rhythms reach Earth as regular, perfect blinks. Each pulse is a rotation, some hundreds of times per second, an ancient metronome keeping time in the vastness. Astronomers listen to them like a heartbeat, measuring not chaos, but astonishing precision. Their song is quiet, constant, and comforting, proof that even in death, a star can keep singing. Fact 86. The gravity of darkness. If a star is too massive, it collapses completely, its gravity becoming endless. This is the birth of a black hole, where space folds inward and time itself bends. Nothing, not even light, can escape. Yet black holes are not monsters. They are the architects of galaxies. Their gravity shapes stars and orbits, balancing the delicate structure of the cosmos. Around them, disks of gas swirl at near-light speed, glowing in X-rays and silence. We cannot see a black hole directly, but we can see what it does. The way it bends starlight, the way it anchors creation. They are the universe's quiet sculptors, working unseen but always present. Fact 87. The ripples of space-time. In 2015, scientists detected something Einstein had only dreamed of. Gravitational waves, tiny ripples in the fabric of space and time. They came from the collision of two black holes more than 1 billion light-years away. The signal lasted less than a second, a whisper of unimaginable power. These waves travel through everything, stretching and compressing the universe as they go. They are the universe's way of remembering great events, its soft, cosmic echo. Each detection is like hearing the heartbeat of creation itself. And when we listen closely, we find that even the void has music. Fact 88. Islands of light. Each galaxy is an island in the cosmic sea, filled with billions of stars and surrounded by the soft pull of dark matter. The nearest to our own, the Andromeda Galaxy, drifts toward us even now, its spiral arms shining faintly across 2 million light-years. Through telescopes, it looks like a misty oval, calm, immense, serene. There are galaxies shaped like disks, like ellipses, and like smoke blown by cosmic winds. Some blaze with new stars, others fade quietly into old age, and between them lies almost nothing, just silence and the faint hum of radiation older than life itself. When you look at the Milky Way, remember, there are hundreds of billions more, each glowing softly in the night of forever. Fact 89. The cosmic web. Though galaxies seem scattered at random, they are not alone. They connect through vast filaments of gas, gravity, and dark matter, threads forming what astronomers call the cosmic web. It is the universe's grand tapestry, stretching across unimaginable distances, weaving light into structure. Between those threads lie immense voids, regions nearly empty, where only a handful of atoms drift in each cubic meter. Yet even those voids are part of the pattern, balancing the web like rests between musical notes. If we could see it all at once, the universe would resemble a glowing brain, networks of energy pulsing slowly through time. The cosmos is not chaos. It is balance written in starlight. Fact 90. The expanding sky. The universe is not still. Since its beginning, it has been expanding, every galaxy drifting away from every other, like points on an inflating balloon. Even space itself stretches, carrying light into longer, redder waves, the soft sigh of distance growing. This expansion began nearly 14 billion years ago and continues today, faster than before. Astronomers call the mysterious force behind it dark energy, a quiet pressure pushing everything apart. It means that the farther we look, the older the light we see. Galaxies not as they are, but as they once were. The night sky, then, is both a window and a memory, the universe dreaming of its own beginning. Fact 91. The first galaxies awaken. In the earliest ages of the universe, darkness reigned. Hydrogen and helium drifted in vast, formless clouds until gravity began to weave them into shape. Tiny sparks of light flickered. The first galaxies, small and fragile, born from cosmic fog. They gathered slowly, their stars clustering close, their light faint and red from distance and age. The James Webb Space Telescope, with eyes tuned to the ancient infrared, now peers back to this era, seeing light that has traveled over 13 billion years. Those galaxies are the universe's first whispers, the glow of order emerging from emptiness. And in their fragile shimmer, we see the beginning of everything we have ever known. Fact 992: the first stars ignite. Before galaxies bloomed fully, there were the population 3 stars, the very first to shine. Made only of hydrogen and helium, they burned hotter and brighter than any stars since. Their lives were brief but beautiful. Brilliant explosions that forged the first heavy elements, seeding the cosmos for all future creation. When they died, they left behind the raw materials for planets, oceans, and life itself. Their light has long since faded, but their fingerprints remain in the chemistry of stars that came after. Every atom of carbon, oxygen, and iron in our bodies traces back to them. The first suns, the first artists of matter. We are their quiet descendants, glowing faintly with borrowed starlight. Fact 93: the echo of creation. Long before any stars formed, the young universe released a faint, uniform glow, the cosmic microwave background. It is the oldest light we can see, born just 380,000 years after time itself began. Though invisible to our eyes, radio telescopes can still sense it, a whisper stretched thin by billions of years of expansion. It fills all of space equally, a soft residue of warmth from when the cosmos was new. Scientists have mapped its tiny variations, ripples that foretold the galaxies to come. When we listen to this ancient radiation, we are hearing the afterglow of the beginning, the quiet hum of the universe remembering its own birth. Fact 94: the curved path of light. Light always travels straight, yet in the vastness of space, straight can curve. When it passes near a massive object, the pull of gravity bends its path, like glass warping a beam of sun. This phenomenon is called gravitational lensing, and it turns galaxies and clusters into cosmic magnifying glasses. Through this gentle distortion, astronomers glimpse things far behind, distant galaxies, faint and ancient, magnified by the gravity of others. Sometimes, light forms into graceful arcs, other times into perfect rings known as Einstein rings, circles of brightness born from invisible force. It is the universe bending itself into art, proof that even gravity, when it dreams, can paint with light. Fact 95: the fabric of time. Einstein taught us that space and time are not separate, but woven together into one continuous fabric. Every star, planet, and being rests upon this cosmic cloth, warping it ever so slightly with their presence. The sun curves the fabric gently, black holes twist it deep. To move through space is to move through time. To feel gravity is to feel the bending of both. We are not falling through emptiness, but gliding along invisible curves. In this way, the universe holds us tenderly, our feet on earth, our hearts moving quietly along time's soft current. Every moment, every orbit, every breath is part of the same great geometry. Fact 96: the universe as mirror. In the dance between matter and light, reflection takes on a new meaning. Light from ancient galaxies crosses billions of years, showing us the universe not as it is, but as it was. Every image in a telescope is a look backward through time. When we gaze into the sky, we do not see distance, we see history. The farther the light, the older the story. Some stars we see tonight may already be gone, their light still traveling, still telling us who they were. The universe, then, is a mirror made of memory, reflecting not our place in space, but our place in time, infinite, patient, and softly glowing. Fact 97. The possibility of many worlds. Perhaps our universe is not alone. Some theories suggest that our cosmos may be just one bubble in an endless multiverse, each expanding quietly within an ocean of creation. In these parallel worlds, the laws of physics might shift like notes in a different melody. Light could move slower. Stars could burn blue instead of gold. We may never see these other realms directly, yet their possibility stretches the imagination wider than the sky. Each universe could be a separate dream of reality, forming, blooming, and fading without ever knowing the others exist. And somewhere within the endless sea of all that could be, we drift, a single bubble of awareness, glowing softly in infinity's calm. Fact 98. The quantum whisper. At the smallest scale of existence, the universe is not solid, but shimmering. Particles flicker in and out of being, appearing here and there like fireflies in the dark. This is the quantum realm, where certainty dissolves and everything becomes a field of probability. An electron can be in two places at once until observed. A photon behaves like both a wave and a particle, a rhythm that only collapses when we look. It is not illusion. It is the deep truth that beneath stability lies motion, and beneath matter lies mystery. The universe hums with these tiny fluctuations, a cosmic murmur reminding us that existence is not fixed. It is fluid, alive, and endlessly curious. Fact 99. The pulse of being. All of time, all of space, all of matter, everything hums at once. Even the emptiest vacuum vibrates faintly with energy, a soft quantum hum that can never quite be silenced. This subtle trembling is the background rhythm of reality, a heartbeat of being that pervades all things. Perhaps consciousness itself arises from this same universal vibration, a harmony where stars, atoms, and thought all share the same song. When you close your eyes and listen to stillness, you may feel it, that quiet connection between your breath and the breath of the cosmos. It is not something we discover, but something we remember, that we too are the universe, awake and aware of its own wonder. Fact 100. The universe, within. After all our traveling, past planets, moons, and the edges of light, we return softly to ourselves. For the same elements that burn in stars flow quietly within our veins. The same forces that shape galaxies move through every heartbeat and breath. When we look at the night sky, we are not looking outward, but inward, seeing the vastness we already carry inside. Every atom in your body was forged in the furnace of a dying star, scattered across the cosmos, then gathered again to dream and wonder. You are not separate from the universe. You are the universe, briefly remembering itself, glowing, breathing, alive. And in that thought, there is peace. And as our journey comes to a gentle close, I hope you found a bit of calm among the stars tonight. If you enjoyed drifting through these sleepy facts, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and comment below what topic you'd love to fall asleep to next. When you're ready to keep dreaming, tap the end screen to watch the next Sleepy Astronaut video and continue your quiet voyage through the universe. Sweet dreams, and see you among the stars.